Florida's Tampa Bay, home to impressive populations of snook and redfish, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. I'm setting forth with local pro Mike Goodwine for some light tackle variety fishing in the waters he calls his home. Can I top the cagey veteran? Watch and see.
George Poveromo's world of saltwater fishing. Big fish don't stand a chance.
Tampa Bay is a major league body of water, and a lot of species come and go through this system. I had trailered a shallow water mark over from South Florida to fish with Captain Mike Goodwine to get a good sampling of exactly what was going on in this system during the month of June. Captain Mike Goodwine from the Tampa Bay area is a true gem. He's a bank of knowledge, and he just has this unique ability to catch fish under virtually all conditions. And I know this because he and I had done a show together a number of years back and absolutely crushed the redfish and snook. And he has been a regular and continues to be a regular in our Saltwater Sportsman National Seminar Series. He's one of our touring national faculty members.
I'm based out of Tampa, Florida. I've been in Florida all my life. I'm a true Floridian. Ain't too many of us left. It mainly ain't about what I specialize in catching. I specialize in having a good time on my boat. You know, you get on my boat, you're gonna have a good time. If we don't catch fish, I'm gonna have a good excuse on why we didn't. So that's it.
We're gonna explore a good area of the Tampa Bay complex, and that was sort of driven in part by red tide.
We still could catch fish. We might have to travel a little bit, but we gonna make it happen. There's still fish out there happy and ready to eat.
So here we go, charging out into some nice clean water, and the goal was to fish deeper because of the red tide. The red tide was impacting a lot of the nearshore areas in that particular part of Tampa Bay. So we were out in deep water. Mike said there's some good bottom structure. It tends to hold a lot of fish. There are a lot of mackerel around. You might be able to get a big red, big snook, the odd shot of getting a tarpon. So Mike and I, we're going to work here. He's going with pretty much the dead bait routine, throws a handful of them out, let them float back, and he'll cast one out. I, on the other hand, decided to go the live bait route. So I'm taking live pilchard and flipping it back and freelining it. So now we're experimenting with the chunks and the dead bait versus the live bait. Mike, sure enough, drew first blood. That rod bent and drag started going out, and he had a good fish hooked up. It's a mackerel, it's a big one. If you need me to get chasing, I could always do that. But you just...
I'm thinking to myself, I know what it is, but I ain't finna let them know because, you know, I'm hoping it break off and then I can say it was whatever. But I know what it is. But I'm still gonna fight this thing like it's a trophy fish.
What?
No, cut it.
What?
It's a big ray.
A big stingray?
Yeah.
Got back up in position and started doing the routine all over again. And Mike, sure enough, bam, that rod goes down again, and he's hooked up. A fish is acting the same exact way as the initial one did. It's sort of like Groundhog Day, what happened earlier.
I hope it ain't the same thing. Seen white.
You seen something?
Yeah. What is that?
Oh, here comes something.
Oh.
Scallop maker.
Gosh.
We got scallops, Mike.
Dude.
Let's take a look at that scallop maker. Long story short, a few minutes later, we had another stingray alongside the boat. If this were a stingray competition, Mike would be like about 2 laps ahead of the field by now.
George Poveromo's world of saltwater fishing is proudly brought to you by PENN. Let the battle begin. Mako. You'll find them where the fish are. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Mercury Marine. Go boldly. George, we'll be right back.
With back-to-back stingray catches, Mike Goodwine isn't looking so much like a hero right now. At least that's what I was thinking. We're fishing in Florida's Tampa Bay. One thing at that particular point in time, and maybe it was a difference between setting out the chunk baits with the chummers versus my live bait. But at least for the stingray part of it, they were chowing down on those chunk baits. And again, Mike's rod goes down, and again, another long running fish. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, he really got a bad area for us. We're sitting over here on top of Stingray City.
Yeah. This is different here.
And I want you to convince me before I take my rod out of play. Here we go. I'm on two. Yep. Oh, I'm cut. I could have been a mackerel on that. So I am hookless, so the mackerel got to me. That means I'm all yours. Any assistance you need.
Good head shake on this one.
You got some head shakes?
Oh yeah.
So you think that's the right flavor?
Oh, it's the right flavor, yeah. If it ain't, we're gonna be eating some scallops.
You think you got the three-peat?
Oh, no. I have head shake there. That's red there.
Nice, okay.
Oh, look at the
tarpon. I better start the boat. All right, let's get the trolling motor up on to go after him, okay? It looks like he's trying to come up, doesn't he?
Yeah, it does.
There's the jump.
Oh!
Hey, can I change my,
Oh! No, he's still there.
Can I change my weight estimate on that one?
I think he's done.
You or him?
I am. I don't even think he know he hooked.
I think he might know a little bit.
I fought this fish for 40 minutes, y'all. And every time I thought I had it whipped, it'll come up, and I'm like, yo, this is it. It'll come up, raise his head, go right back down. The number one rule on my boat, besides having a good time, is you do not touch the drag for nothing. And when this tarpon got on, I found myself doing this, like just wanting to reach over there and just tighten it down just a little bit, but I didn't want to break my rules.
Now he's stretching, may roll up again. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
There's the jump, boys. Keep an eye out front.
I think he's too tired.
He's got to be 50, 60 out.
Here we go. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Gosh.
Mike, you finally parted ways.
I tried my best to hurry up and get him because I didn't want to see this tarpon getting ate by a shark, and got broke off.
And I know Mike was a little disappointed because he pretty much wore himself out fighting that fish. And I consider it a victory. We had that fish 6, 7 or so feet away from the boat on several occasions. Mike did a beautiful job. I was totally thrilled with it. What a spectacular fight in Tampa Bay. So I'm counting that as a victory. Mike did one sensational job on the rod. And the best part about it, it wasn't another stingray.
George Poveromo's World of Saltwater Fishing is proudly brought to you by SIMRAD, 75 years of innovation in marine electronics. Rapala holds the world record for world records. Suffolk's always use the best line. Starbright Boat Care Products, clean and protect. George, we'll be right back.
While cruising to another spot in Florida's Tampa Bay, a big tripletail was spotted by a marker. This, of course, led to us casting live and dead baits and even a soft plastic storm largo shad, all for the bragging rights on who would catch the fish. One thing that really intrigues me about the Tampa Bay complex is the size of the tripletails that often come into the system. And I've seen pictures of Mike holding these huge tripletail. And naturally, you look at the state of Florida, there's areas where you do get a lot of big ones. But the Port Canaveral area on the East Coast is like the king. There's brutes over there. But to see that the Tampa Bay complex also gets big ones, this really intrigued me. So that was pretty much in the back of my mind a headliner. We had just finished up with the tarpon, Mike said, why don't we go up to TRIPLETAIL now?
So we headed to our spot, and we going there, and out the corner of my eye, off this pole, when we wasn't even going to fish that pole, we was running somewhere else, and I thought I seen one, and George spotted it too. And he said, man, I think that was a TRIPLETAIL. So we came back around, and it was a giant just sitting there ready to be caught. And I had never caught one near this spot. So this was just a random pole just sitting there, and he was on it.
He's after my hook. Look at that. He's after my hook. Oh my God, he's trying to eat my hook. Let him eat it, let him eat it, let him eat it. Oh, George, where's the net?
It's in front of the console. Ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
Because he don't know he hooked yet.
Right aside, Mike.
All right, you ready? He don't know
I
he
guess
hooked
we
yet.
answered our question.
Yeah, he don't know he hooked yet. You tell when you're bringing his head up. Go. Bring it.
Where's that, Mike? I'll get him back up.
All right. All right, get his head up. All right, this go right here. I'm gonna put him under it. Ready? I got up. Oh, still a little too deep. There we go.
Yes, sir, Mike.
Finally. That is a dinosaur, bro.
And you talk about the experiment with work. We saw it going by.
Yeah.
We're throwing at it, nothing. I don't know, how many times do we pitch live bait, cut bait, nothing? 5 or 6 times or 7 times, and then I was reeling up too fast, a little too fast. Yeah.
My bait came off, and he came up to the top. So once they come up to the top, always have a bait ready to pitch. George had this bait right here.
And I threw it in there, and you teased him up for me.
Yeah.
Whenever you see the captain freaking out, you know it's a big fish.
We were both happy at that point. And I know that Mike was setting up at the end of the trip to do one of his major barbecues and grilling adventures for us. And I said, Mike, how about in addition to steaks, we bring this TRIPLETAIL and enjoy it that night? He goes, absolutely. So what a bonus catch. At that point, the trip was made to me, a beautiful TRIPLETAIL onward with our fishing adventure in Tampa Bay.
George's Tackle Locker, brought to you by King Sailfish, the pioneer of catch and release mounts. Visit kingsailfish.com.
Engel's dry box coolers are ideal for anglers fishing aboard kayaks, canoes, and other small vessels, as well as for those aboard big boats and even in vehicles. Recently, on a few drives up to the northeast from South Florida, I've kept sandwiches, snacks, and drinks cold and ready available in an Engel dry box cooler. Doing so proved not only a time saver, but an upgrade from the fast food chains along the highway. These injection molded dry boxes come in several vibrant colors, sizes ranging from 7.5 to 30 quarts, and with 5-year warranties. High-grade polystyrene foam provides the insulation, whereas airtight gasket seals maintain the cold and dryness. Aboard my boat, I keep important paperwork, my wallet, and truck keys safely inside an Engel dry box within my console, and flares, air horn, and other USCG safety items in yet a second Engel dry box. They're also ideal for carrying live shrimp and crabs, small baits which ordinarily would get lost within the live wells of mid-sized and large fishing boats.
Mercury Performance Stats, Tampa Bay, Florida. Seas, calm. Power, Mercury Pro XS 225 horsepower V8 outboard. Prop, Mercury Tempest 19-inch pitch. Total miles, 65. Consistent cruise, 4,700 RPMs. Speed, 42 miles per hour. Total fuel burned, 23 gallons. We'll be right back. George Poveromo's World of Saltwater Fishing is proudly brought to you by the Florida Keys and Key West. Come as you are. ACR, the leader in marine safety electronics. Papa's Pilar Artesian Crafted Rum. Never a Spectator. Float On, the original aluminum immersible boat trailer. King Sailfish, the pioneer of catch and release mounts. Visit kingsailfish.com.
Now with a tarpon, a big triple tail, and we certainly cannot forget the 2 stingrays that Mike also fought, it was time to move on to redfish, one of his true specialties.
The redfish bite was about to turn on. The tide was getting high, and you know, I knew I had a strong point catching redfish in the bushes. Once that water get high, those redfish will push up under the mangroves. And when they get up under the mangroves, you gotta have an accurate cast to get up there and get them. I like to chum up the side of the mangroves with bait. So I loaded up my bat with bait, threw some charmers out to see if I could get some humping up, rolling, or moving around up under the mangroves looking for baits. So I got my little specialty. I like to take the tail off the bait. If I throw a bait in there and it's got a tail on it, what is it gonna do? It's gonna run out from up under the mangroves. And you gotta have an accurate cast, so you gotta get it in there perfect. It was probably one of my better casts the other day. And boom, I stuck a red.
Mike always got to one up you.
One come up with a fish?
Yeah, I think you got this one.
That's a red. Feel that head shake. Yep. You really did?
No, you can do it all. You're watching the different shows. You've seen too many of them.
Yeah, I know.
By the time I got this fish halfway to the boat, George hooked up on the red.
This is awesome.
Stole your spot, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that one sole mangrove branch that you were throwing under for the action.
I'm gonna send you an invoice, bro. That sound like that one got some shoulders on him.
You feel so comfortable because you got it out in open water right now.
Yeah. Oh, yours is bigger too.
And I know, mine definitely got the shoulder. I can see him over here.
Oh,
Check,
yeah.
that's a big,
That's
there's your
stud right there.
There's your Brutus.
I'm talking about the fish, I ain't talking about you.
So I flipped mine in the boat, and it was we call them rat reds, but it was a good redfish because it's a redfish. And I looked down, and George got a stud on him.
Oh. Don't gamble with my big redfish. Whoa, Mike. Yes, sir.
Stud
Yes, sir.
right there, brother.
Get the fish alongside the boat, get it scooped up in the net, we land it. It is a gorgeous redfish. And this had to been, I don't know if you would call it the crowning moment, but it was certainly one of interest. And I guess if it did go to the judge's decision on who really won that, I'm wondering if the judges would be favorable to counting stingrays, 2 of them, and he did get a saltwater catfish. I don't know how the judges would look at something like that, but it was a close competition. In my book, there's no trip to the Tampa Bay complex with Mike Goodwine unless he brings the entire crew over for a major league cookout on the final night before we're set to travel back home. He had done this 2-3 years ago when we did that last show, and you could see that if you go to my YouTube channel, George Poveromo TV. You'll see the original show that I did with Mike, and I'll tell you this much, in there I made him cry. So make sure you look at Mike Goodwine crying because we did that. So that was my birthday, and he had a big grill out ready for us on my birthday, which was a big surprise, which was incredible.
Everybody probably think fishing is my first love. I love fishing, but my first love as a hobby is grilling. I like to barbecue. I like to throw down on the grill. And it kind of coincides with fishing, with me being a charter captain. Because when I see my clients catch fish, that smile that they put on their face, the same with grilling. When I see them bite into some of the food that I prepare and that smile, yeah, I get that same feeling. It's almost the same way.
Talk about a fantastic trip to the Tampa Bay area complex with Captain Mike Goodwine. Not only you get the entertainment, not only you get the fast fishing, but in our case, he tops it off in one incredible final night grilling. It was just a remarkable time. And he is an ace. If you're ever in this Tampa Bay complex, make sure you look up Captain Mike Goodwine. And he's a fun guy to be with. And yet, this was yet another remarkable adventure with him out in Tampa Bay. If you want to keep track of our fishing adventures, we welcome you to follow us on our social media. I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/George.Poveromo. I'm on Instagram at George Poveromo. And you can see our shows in 4K broadcast quality on YouTube at my YouTube channel, which is George Poveromo TV. Jump aboard and ride along with us.